Hey folks, Moosetro here. We're hanging out on Fulgora with another episode of Factorio, and I was actually thinking about it, and I think I want to pause my flow of goods just while I think through this a little bit more clearly. I want to think about our modules and how I want to tackle the modules. So we're going to tackle that. One of the other things that I did off camera is I think I've got my rockets up and running, and I went through and I made another Fulgora export ship. He's coming to Fulgora. No, maybe he's not coming to Fulgora yet. I think he's going to Nauvis. I don't know what he's doing. But, oh, he stopped at Vulcanus. Now he's going to Nauvis. We've got ships from each of our planets that are running. The science export is taking our sciences, and we can probably actually kick these up now to a little bit higher. Maybe we'll kick them up to 2,000 so that we're keeping 2,000 in our inventory. And I think these, if they're less than 2,000, save interrupt, and if this science is less than 2,000. Okay. I think I got those fixed. So the way this works is it'll hang out at Nauvis, and if the science drops below 2,000, it'll trigger one of these things, and then it'll head off to go pick up that science. And on Nauvis, they'll be dumping off, and I've thought about it, and the research that I want to do first is quality. So that's going to use 2,000 science, so we're going to need another trip of that science, but Fulgora. So the thought is what we want to do is we want to start leveling up our quality modules so that we're getting quality products, which means I want to make quality modules at the right ratio. And after watching the video, I think what we can do is we can do 4 to 3 to 2. Okay, I turned down the sound of the rockets. They were getting a little bit loud. Okay, so we've got the level 1 quality being crafted. We have the green and red circuits coming in to pull that off. If the belts aren't providing, then the boxes can provide. And if we create a level 2 or higher, we stick it in a provider chest. Which means if we're creating a level 1, we should put it on a belt. And I think that's what we'll do here. We will put it on this belt. To be fed into the level 2 demands. Okay, so these guys make 0.15 per second, and we have 4 of them. 0.15 times 4 is 0.6 per second, so we can absorb 0.6 per second, and this guy needs 0.2, so we can do 3 of those to absorb the level 2, or the level 1 quality modules. So let's make 3 of them. Same deal, if they make a level 2 or higher, then they will be put into a storage chest. Okay, to tie off the level 1, we're going to have them end at the level 2 belt. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work. Let me think about that again. Okay, I was doing the right thing, just at the wrong spot. So this belt is holding the level 1s, and the level 1 modules will be put into storage just to feed the chests by bots if the belt runs dry. And the last bit of level 1 modules will go in there. That should work. It's got a bit of a fail-safe. And then we move to the level 2s. And the level 2s we're going to put on the belt, and that will filter to the top of the belt. And then we can put the superconductors on the bottom of the belt. And that will go in and feed our level 3 guy. That's not what I want to do. And we're wrapping up this build just as quality module 3 finishes the research. We're at 98%, and we should be able to turn these into level 3 in just a moment. Here we go. Dun dun dun. I think the next thing that I want to research is the mech armor, so we'll just get that going so that I can have more inventory. Hooray! We have module 3s being made. That's so exciting. Now, of course, the first thing that we'd want to do is upgrade our chances of crafting, so we'll do that as our first upgrade. Next thing I want to do is make sure that my scrap recyclers are producing quality content, or have a chance at creating quality content. So I can take these scrap recyclers and put quality modules in there as well. But then I want to make sure I'm siphoning off the quality content. Yeah, let's at least make these chests that bots can grab from. Now that they are chests that they can grab from, we're going to get stacks of content, and these stacks will eventually dump out. I don't think we'll get this filled up when we unplug the line, but I have a feeling we'll never quite get to a stack of 16 quality content because we're going to be making things out of quality content. Okay, so we took our first 5 quality things and stuck them in here to increase our chance of getting high quality level 3. And the other thing that we did is we took this array and we've made these qualities, and they'll dump into there. Now what we should do is we should make a chest that is, we should make electromagnetic plants that specifically specialize in using quality ingredients to make quality modules. So these guys, they're going to be fed by the belt. Not by the belts, just by bots, because I don't think they'll get a bunch of traffic. We're going to ask for the quality 3 circuits to be dropped in here to feed him, and we're just going to keep it at the default 20 because we don't need to overload it. Similarly, we'll do the default 10 here. That should be good there. And then request there. And then you can put out into this quality chest. Now we need to do that for level 2. I'm sure there's probably a more thoughtful way to do this that doesn't use as many machines. Okay, I think I set up a safety net at the end. Anything that's level 2 or 3 will get pulled off and stuck into the recycle bin. Not recycle, but to move to an appropriate bin. Each of my ingredients I also have being pulled and stuck into level 2 and level 3 chests. And I have my recyclers are getting their quality modules. These guys probably can be upgraded to quality 3, so let's take those, and when quality 3 modules come available, they'll be put into those. Now the one thing that I think is not happening is I am not getting enough green circuits coming through. That's coming from recycling the red and blue circuits. It's probably because I'm siphoning off all of the red and blue until these guys are full. Then once those get full, we should start getting the green circuits to flow. There you go. Since we're going to be getting level 2 and level 3 iron plates and copper plates, we can make level 2 and level 3 green circuits. So what we'll want to do is we'll also want to have a level 2 copper coil. And then you'll get the copper plates, and we'll have a level 3 copper coil. Oops, that's not the right thing. We want you level 3 copper coil. Okay, we reworked some of our miners up here to grab the last bit of scrap from the top of the island. The other thing that I added was I just wasn't getting the green circuits coming through, so I made some guys making green circuits so that we can keep these things alive and we can start feeding what we need to get the level 3s. Now the level 3s are slowly populating into the fields that they need to populate, so that's a good thing. I have the ability to process one more lane of junk to come in. Oh, look at that. New stuff is arriving. Heck yeah. Yeah. So let's put down some miners for another lane of junk. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to queue up the next level roboports and batteries, as well as the rail support foundations. So I have the mech suit that has been researched. I just wanted to see if I could gather up enough resources, and I think it's going to be really slow if I do this. I don't think I'm going to be able to get what's needed to do a level 3 mech armor. So we might not do it that way. We might just go with a regular level 1 mech armor. Okay, something that I think went wrong. This guy is dumping level 1s out onto the belt, which then get put in here, but for whatever reason, this guy is not taking level 1s, which I think is because the belt wound up getting a level 2 on it. I would imagine that this thing spits out, but what I think would fix it is if I said, oh man, how does this work? What am I doing wrong? I think I'm going to restart the design and try to get it right. Okay, we have green circuits flowing. We have red circuits flowing. Level 2s will be put into a chest. Level 2 and above will be put into a chest to be used. Level 1s are put on the belt and sent down the line. Okay. Now we will advance to the tier 2 efficiency. Okay, we've got red and green coming in, feeding these guys. Why are these not getting picked up over here to go into this? These should be getting upcycled. Okay, I think I've got enough red coming in to keep my 4 level 1s churning. And it looks like my level 2s are not all churning. They're just not quite getting fed enough. But that might be because I just don't have enough red circuits coming down the line, and once I have enough red circuits coming down the line, these guys will be fed enough. Alright, pulling out of Neilhouse's suggestion, I created this machine here. I shouldn't say I created, I used his, which takes a look at what sort of modules we have in our inventory, and if we're ever above 50 for the module, we will recycle it. The goal is, of course, to go through the process of upcycling to get to the higher levels. I think I have this set up all schnazzy like to be able to pull off a upcycler for the quality modules. So we have that up and running. Now the thing that I need to do now is I need to have a similar sort of setup for the other modules. Although I don't know if that's what I want to do next. We are getting green circuits coming through and blue circuits coming through, and so we shouldn't necessarily be recycling those down. So I think what I will do is I will consider creating a similar array to upcycle our other types of modules. Which means that maybe these shenanigans need to be moved. Ooh. Let's take a look at the map. We could go higher up. Let's see, that was 2.5 squares. We might be able to fit another one there. Yeah, boy, that's a really big rework. Okay, well, I added the other arrays. It did take up a fair amount of space, but I wasn't really trying to be space conscious. At this point, I'm suspecting that this will eventually start to back up again with the circuits, and then once this gets backed up with the red and green circuits, then this one will start to back up with red, green, and blue, hopefully, and then the next one, and then the next one, and we will eventually get there. But what we need to do is make sure we are mining enough junk. As you can see, we don't have enough junk coming in. Okay, we're backed up on red and blue here, which means red and blue is starting, as I expected, to start to fill up the next array. And once that gets backed up, then this one will back up with red and blue. And then once this one's backed up with red and blue, this one will as well. And then finally we can start recycling red again. And if we can recycle the overflow of red and blue circuits, then we'll start manufacturing the green circuits, which is what we need. But we got to get those belts coming in. I think that one of the things that I like about having bots is how forgiving it is to make a change to your design. You can like cut and delete and modify something with relative ease. And one of the things that I was thinking about is I don't really like the space that this takes up. And I was thinking about it, it might actually be easier to do a slightly different design. So that's what I'm going to do. These take up a lot of space, so I was thinking what I would do is cutting out to the right, we would have one module and then a second module, and at the same time cutting out to the left we could have module 3 type, module 4 type, and then we'll be all good. So we're gonna do that. Okay, that feels a lot cleaner, and we can connect our lines through and we can start moving scrap recycled into this thing. Now the other thing that this does is it splits the blue circuits between the two types of modules, and while I would prefer, well, it splits all the circuit types, while I would prefer to focus on the quality modules first, it doesn't hurt to do the other ones. So there we go. And like previously, we're going to have to get our lines backed up with the green or the red and blue circuits before the green circuits start coming in. We haven't researched the level 3 efficiency and the level 3, what are these ones called? Efficiency and productivity. So we haven't researched those ones yet, but we will, and we have placeholders for them. Okay, now if we want to ramp up our scrap production, we need to go back to the task of getting our scrap lines to come in, because as you can see, we're down to a little over one line. Okay, we've got the bots down here clearing off this area. We have a bunch of junk buildup, and they're picking that all up. And then we've got our guys putting onto belts. We haven't connected the belts, so we're going to need to do that. And we need to get some protection, so we'll work on that now. Oh, I love seeing all the bots flying around. Happy times. Okay, when we look at the map, we're going to siphon out all that stuff. And the next patch we'll work on is this one over here. Uh-oh, it seems like the line stopped moving. I have a mistake. Right there. That's what it is. That should fix it. Oh, we've got it up in this one too, so. Okay, the line should move. We've got 4 lines of junk coming in. My modules that I had on the recycling, I had speed modules in there, and I realized I don't want speed modules, I want quality modules. I'm not too concerned about the speed. I really want to ramp up the quality that exists. So I don't mind those being speed or quality rather than efficiency. Quality, efficiency, or speed. Boy, I'm struggling with words. All I want is quality. That's all I want. Alright, we're finally getting some green circuits coming down this line, which means pretty soon this guy should be... Let's just cap that. This guy should get green circuits that go past it and start feeding our module production. We hopes. Okay, so since green circuits is going to be the thing that's a little bit short, and green circuits are reasonably free to produce on Vulcanus, then I think what we can do is we can set up green circuit delivery from Vulcanus and make sure that we're producing green circuits there. Alright, so I made a small setup for making level 2 and level 3 blue circuits with quality modules in there, and also the level 2 and level 3. Oh, I don't think I said that one right. Let's delete that and try that again. Level 2 and level 3. Should probably call them by their proper words. Was it like normal, rare, normal, uncommon, rare? I forget what they're called. Okay, those should feed into those and help supply the needs for this guy here, which is essentially just a machine made for making level 2s and level 3s. So There we go. So something that I did do a little bit off camera, and I feel mildly guilty about not working through it, but I can't claim this design. I borrowed this from Nauvis again. These are modules that are essentially little mini upcyclers. And so what we do is we craft a level 1 module. It then gets fed into a box that crafts a level 2 module, which then gets fed into a box to craft the level 3 module. And anything that is not of the quality, level 3 quality, oh man, what do we call those? I feel really bad. They're called rare. So any normal and uncommon ones get dumped to be recycled, and the ingredients then can get refed in until we get up to level 3. And what I did was I did that for all of the ingredients that are needed to make a the mech armor. So we're slowly gathering the necessary things for mech armor, and boy oh boy, blue level 3 is the thing that really is going to take a while to get there. So I'm curious if that's a result of, are we using blue level 3s up here? I think we are using blue circuits to make these guys. Yeah, so some of the blue circuits are going here to make these guys. But we are slowly churning away and making the level 3, the rare blue chips, and all of the ingredients necessary to build our rare mech armor. I also set up the processes for making the rare roboports and rare batteries and rare energy shields. And I think what I also want to do is make rare exoskeleton legs. But we're gonna run short on our scrap. We're down to 81,000 in that pile, and then this pile is, I think this is all grouped together as one singular pile, 594. And we're churning through it slowly but surely, and eventually we're gonna absorb all of it in this upcycling process that we are spitting through, which means I need to start considering a new source of goods. And I've got this island over here, which doesn't have a whole lot on it, but it'd be pretty easy to connect because that's a pseudo straight shot for the rails. This island here has 31 million, which is a grip load, and it's also not too bad for setting up rails. And so that's what I think I'm going to focus on, is creating the rail network that connects and then just feeds into my belt right here. And you can see my belt is now starting to get some of those higher quality scraps coming through because I have quality modules in my miners. So that's an exciting thing, and these will slowly get filled up as we get more and more quality modules made. So what I've been working on is getting the things made for the rail network. We've got our rails, our elevated ones, and then our signals, and what I need to do is get some train cars made. And so I'm setting this network up. So the way it works is I can say, what type of train do I want? We want to make locomotives, and if there's less than 4 locomotives, we will output a locomotive signal. And what we can do is connect this so that we look in the box. We'll use red to look in the box. Is there a locomotive in there? And if we don't have that many in there, we'll send that signal and set recipe. So it says, oh, we don't have 4 locomotives, we're going to make that, which means we need those ingredients in the chest. So we're going to set this chest to ask for the necessary ingredients. Steel, green chips, and I think also we needed engines. Yep. And then we can chain that together. Once you've made enough locomotives, you can then make the next type of car, which is going to be connected on the red network. And we're going to say, if we have enough of these, and let's do 10 of those. If we have less than 10, then we're going to output a request to make 10 cargo wagons. And we will also connect that. Actually, let's do it like this, connect like that. So once we get to the 4, then we should switch automatically to that signal. And that's what I did down here too. And when both of them are satisfied, then this thing doesn't make anything. Since we're going to connect our island down here to this big old massive thing, we should connect our electric grid down. So let's just take a copy paste of our electric grid and start working our way down there, hopefully with the intention of getting a radar down there so that we can see what's going on, and then running a train across. I'm actually curious if it's going to be close enough that the logistic network would connect. I don't think it will be. That's almost, yeah, no, I don't think it's enough. I started building and I don't have, oh my goodness, get away from me. I started building and I didn't have any of the lightning collectors, which means bad things. So let's go grab some lightning collectors. Alright, so I tried and I was unsuccessful. Here's the thing. We're going to run a train just back and forth. It's going to be a really short stretch, and it's just going to go back and forth, which means I could almost have bots fill the train. We can... I've never done these guys here. That might be a bit of a difficult problem to do. Can we curve the rail? Okay, we're going to be able to do it, at least on this end. Okay, so we can make a stop here, and we will mine it and load it into chests, and then those chests will drop into our train. Now this is going to be a two-way track, so I'll have to consider that when I'm putting the signals down. And how big can we get this train? So it looks like I could probably have 4 wagons. I don't know if I necessarily need 4 wagons. Maybe most of my Fulgora stuff will be done with a 2-2 train. So what we can do is... Do I have my train pieces yet? I don't think I have my train pieces. But we can put chests down. And this will be a local network. Do I want to... I think I'll just feed them. Oh wait, no, we're only doing 2. Let's get this set up. Okay, we've got the logistic bots going back and forth here. I don't know if it's faster that way or with belts. Maybe that's an unnecessary expectation of the bots. Boy, I don't know. Okay, I think I've got this island set up. I put a small bit so that the bots can feed the right-hand side of the train, and I think I've got enough miners covering the whole thing, so we should be good there. Now we need to set up the unload side. I think that covers the unload side. All right, well, I think at this point it's a matter of waiting for these things to level up and doing some cleaning things up. So I'm going to call it an episode at that. I really think the amount of stuff coming through here is slowed down quite dramatically. I'm really curious why that's slowed down. I'm going to investigate that, but I will call it an episode. Thanks for tuning in. This is Moosetro signing out. Have a good evening.